You ready?
Yes.
All right. Tell the people who you are.
My name is Eric Dix. I used to be known as Little Eddieboy from over 60.
All right. You in jail for what?
I'm in jail for double murder, homicide. They call the Ross murders out of L.A. And it's a crime that I have been wrongfully convicted of. I have had absolutely nothing to do with. And right now, I am grateful right now that I am able to have this opportunity to speak.
And how long you been down?
I've been down, you can round it off to 40 years. I got locked up January 15th, well, I turned myself in January 15th, 1986, and I've been locked up since then.
So why did you turn yourself?
Say it again?
Why did you turn yourself in?
Because I wasn't no reason for me to run. I knew I had nothing to do with this crime. So I honestly, I believed in the system that it's impossible they can have any evidence against me because I have nothing to do with this and don't even know nothing about it. And I know they got the wrong person. So why would I run and I ain't did nothing? You know, why run? I'm like, I know there can't be no evidence against me because I didn't do it. I already know nothing about this. So that's why I
Okay.
put myself in.
Tell the people where you was at when this particular crime occurred.
I was at the Dillards and our courtyard. The Dillards are a family that stayed downstairs from us in apartment one. It's a black family that's got the mother, the father, which is the father John, Larry, the mother Virginia, and then their daughter Marie, which we also call Wanda, and she's the one who I had interest in, and then it's Nina, the sister, and then John, the brother. You know, and on that day, well, I that's where I was at when the crime happened, and the whole day though, starting the day is where I go to school and go home. Go. I'm going to Crenshaw High. Go to school. After school, I got football practice. After football practice, I come home, which is about 7 or something. I go to an apartment with my sister, shower and so on. Then I go downstairs to the Dillard's apartment, you know, because it means, and I think her parents then knew that me and her had a liking for each other, and they knew what type of person I was, so they invited me in and let me sit. I'm sitting in the living room, and the mother.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
She's preparing dinner, and Marie is in the kitchen with her. The father, Larry, he's in his room, and John and Nina in their room. But anyway, she's preparing dinner, and I'm just in there, you know, because they know I'm over there to see her. So the mother asked me, do I want to stay for dinner? And I was like, yes. And she was making salmon croquettes. So I said, then she ate dinner with them. After dinner, I sat back on the couch. Wanda had to clean the kitchen. So the living room was designed, because it's an apartment, so the living room is more small, so the apartment, living room, and kitchen can see each other. So I'm sitting in the couch that faces where she can see me while she do dishes. So me and her, you know, talking and flirting and back and forth with each other while she cleaned the kitchen. Then when she got done cleaning the kitchen, she came and sat on the couch with me. So we would just sit there watching TV, you know, kissing, you know, just messing around with each other, you know. And then it got kind of late, you know, close to 9, well, close to 10, and 10, like, oh, a little past 10, her mother called her in the room and let her know when she came back, which I found out is that it's time for me to leave. So anyway, we said I go out into the courtyard.
Do you know
So I
the time?
got out into the courtyard. Say that again?
Do you know the time frame?
Yeah, it's after 10. It's in the 10. It's around 10 something in that 10 area.
Time frame that when you first went in there, and the time frame you came out of there.
The time frame when I first went into the village.
Mm-hmm.
That was I say about 8, either between 7 and 8 time, somewhere in there. Because when I came out of football practice, I came home, had to shower, and then I talked to the kids a little bit, and then I went downstairs to them. So it had to be somewhere around that time frame that I ended up over there. But it definitely was enough time where they had dinner.
10?
I didn't hear you.
You said 7 or 8 to 10?
Right, around that time. Yeah, exactly. So from there I go into the courtyard, and that's where it's me, Tita Rock, Sly, and it was somebody else. But Rochelle Apartment always stayed open, so people in and out of that. And then you'll see it all come through and say, they went over there and killed that dude Joker family. And we was like, what? And me, Tita Rock, and Sly, we like stunned. We couldn't believe it. We like, you lying, man. And then he was like, nah, they did.
Which Cheetah Rock was this? Big Cheetah Rock?
Big Cheetah Rock is me. It's between us. Cheetah Rock and Sly, it was us there.
Oh.
Because Cheetah Rock was me.
Okay.
Both of them was there.
Okay.
Yeah, so, but anyway, I go up and tell our sister about it, So we all was stunned about all of that. Like, we couldn't believe it. So all throughout that evening, we all was just tripping off of it. That actually happened. We couldn't believe it. And then especially when we started seeing it came in the news. So, anyway, basically that's what I was at. And then the next day, of course, I got school. The next day I went to school, went to football practice, and back to my normal routine. But I did notice after when I got out of school, when we got a football practice and came through, the hood was the neighborhood was more vacant than it normally is. So I kind of understood, like, dudes is getting out the way because, this stuff all in the news. It's like it's out there. The 60s did it, but they don't know what 60s did it.
Right. So.
And then that's when I noticed too that it would start being nothing but detective cars over there and no black and white, and they pulling over everybody. Anyway, again, my normal program. The next day I go back to school. So when I go back to school the next day, this is when I'm in my homeroom class, second period. They call me to the dean's office. So I go to the dean's office. They tell me,
this call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
The dean tell me that I couldn't no longer go to Crenshaw because I'm 18 years old. So I was like, yes, I can go to Crenshaw because I'm 18. I said, man, I told her, I still have a semester to do because when I got shot, I missed the whole semester. So she was like, no, you can't go here because you're 18, and me and her going back and forth. Then she said, well, look, we'll transfer you to Dorsey or Manual Arts. And I'm like, no, I don't want to go there because I know I can't go to Manual Arts, it's a Hoover school, and I can't go to Dorsey, it's a blood school. So me and her keep going back and forth. She ended up calling the principal in. So the principal come in, which is a sister, she come in there and she saying the same thing, like, you can't go here because you're 18 years old, and this, that, the other. So me and her start going back and forth. So they said, well, look, she come again. She come with it too. That we'll transfer you to the Manual of Dorsey. You know, but no, they're telling me you will transfer me, but you said you kicking me out because I'm 18, but you're going to transfer me to another high school. I said, well, look, let me go to continuation. What we want? They like, no, we don't want you nowhere around the school. So I ended up leaving up out of there mad, right? Mad and kind of hurt, like, because here it is, I'm on my own trying to go to school and do this on my own. You know, I didn't have my mother, nobody on me. I decided on my own, and at the end of the summer of 85, like, look, I need to change my life because this gang stuff, man, it ain't got number 2 places I'm here. You know what I'm saying? This stuff is not really nowhere. So anyway, I leave out hurt, man. I go to my football coach writing, so I go to my football coach class. So he excused himself out of class, and I tell him, I say, man, they kicking me out. He said, they kicking me out because they said I'm 18. He said, man, look, I'm going to tell you what's really going on. He said, man, some detectives came up here this morning and said, you need to get little Eddieboy out of school because he has something to do with this crime. And I'm like, what? This is the first time I ever heard that I'm doing anything about this case. So I was like, what? Now I'm in shock by him telling me this. Like, well, what are you talking about? I have nothing to do with that.
Wait, hold up. How many months? This days after or a month after? How many days? Well, just
Nah. This is like some days. Like it's like some days that it happened. So look, let me finish telling you. It's some days it happened, right? So look, they kicked me out. So I was like, fuck school, because he was saying, I'll get you to West LA College, and we can just take you to UD and so on. I was like, man, fuck school now. So I decided, like, I'm going to just start slanging, hustling. But anyway, the next day, I wake up and I wake up, I go to the window, because our apartment faces 10th Avenue. I look out the window, and I see Mad Ronnie in Cedar Rock at Mad Ronnie's car. Mad Ronnie's car parked in front of the apartment on the flat. So I go downstairs to go help him change the tire. And I got my pajama pants on, my tank top, and house shoes. So when I go downstairs to go help him, the detective car hit the corner, and it slowed up as it got close to us. And it ended up stopping. The detectives get out, put all 3 of us on the car, frisk us, cuff us up, put us in the back of the police car, take us to 77. We go to 77, and from there they put me in an interrogation room, and I don't know what they did with Mayor Ronnie in Cedar Rock. But from that time, this is about 9-something in the morning. So from that time then,
You have 60 seconds remaining.
all the way till about, I say, maybe 2 o'clock, there was different sets of detectives coming in and out, questioning me about where's Petey Wack, where's Big U, where's Big Sneak Dog, where's T-Bone, why did they kill these people, this, that, the other, where's Big Mad Dog, and then they end up coming in, they say, they take a picture and show it to me and say, this is the motherfucker y'all should have killed. And when he showed me the picture, I was like, oh, to myself. Because I seen the dude, and it ended up being a picture of Joker. And then I seen Joker that night he killed Mumbles. Me and Remac were together. We went and got some guns, but we didn't have no bullets. I was saying about, like, me and Remac paired up the night Mumbles got killed on the 8th. You know, we went to his house, got 2 guns, but didn't have no ammunition. So we ended up going back by the crime scene when Mumbles was killed. So we go down Normandy, get to 71st, turn down 71st, then make a right on McKinley. We're going to McKinley, we're going to go turn up Florence and go back up to Normandy. as we do this, it's a car in front of us waiting to turn left on Florence, so it's a long wait. So we behind this car, it's two dudes walking on the sidewalk. It's a light-skinned dude on the side closest to me, and it's a dark-skinned dude on the outside. They laughing and talking. Now I'm staring them down. As I'm staring them down, the light-skinned dude is close to me. He don't see me, but the dark-skinned dude keep me out. So he tapped the light-skinned dude. The light-skinned dude turned and looked and tell me, you better turn around before you get shot. No, he said, you better stop staring before you get shot. So I just turned around. So they walked down McKinley, then they ran across Florence, going back up, running across Florence to the other side of the street, going up towards Normandy. So getting back to when I was in the interrogation room, when they showed me that picture, I was like, oh, that's that dude Joker. I was like, oh, I hate that dude. If I would have had ammunition, and they would have eaten that stuff that night.
So what?
I was like, what?
Why would you leave over there with no bullets?
We had went to Lemac's house because we didn't have no guns. Lemac said, well, we had guns. Lemac said we got two guns, 238. So we went over to his house. And when we went to his house, there was no ammunition.
So y'all just went over there with.
We just went, so as we on our way back, we said we're going to go back by that area on the way back to the hood.
So y'all would just drive.
So we just because Lemac stayed in 40 Hill off of Normandy.
I understand that. I remember. So y'all just was driving by. Y'all didn't have no ammunition,
We didn't have no ammunition, but it would have ended it. But anyway, in that interview with those detectives, they continuously asking me about did I know anything about the crime and so on. And I'm telling them I know nothing. I don't know nothing about the crime. I wasn't there. I had nothing to do with it, and so on. So by the time they got done, and I let them know that I was at the Dillard. I let them know where I was at, and I went to football practice that day and so on. I told them everything, how my day went. So they ended up telling me, okay, you can leave. So I'm telling them, like, how can I leave? I don't got no way to get home. Because I just got pajama pants on, house shoes, and a tank top. They say, well, look, you got two choices. You can stay in jail or you can go home. So I'm like, I just walked out. So luckily, my mother had a friend who stayed around the corner named Roy. I went and got some money from him to catch the bus home. I catch the bus home. By the time I get home, when I get there, I see Larry Dillard. I get to our apartment in 10th Avenue. I see Larry Dillard. Larry Dillard saying, man, the detectives came and talked to me. And he was saying, yeah, they came and talked to me and asked me about you and where you was at and so on. And so Larry told him basically everything I had told him about where I was at and that I was there and so on. So they wanted to talk to his daughter, Marie Dillard. So he had told me, he said, Marie was at school at Crenshaw High. So the detectives left and went up to Crenshaw High. Larry got in his car. He said he got in his car and followed him. Then he go up there with him to Crenshaw High. They summoned Marie, wandered out of class, and she come down and detectives them, interview her. And she tell them basically the same thing about I was there and so on.
So let me. So they knew that it was Deputy Detective Richard McCarty, right?
Yeah, Detective Richard McCarty.
Okay, so they knew that you was at that particular place at that particular time.
Right. Okay. If I tell them, yeah, exactly. He not only they knew, they the report to those two different moments, which is my interview and the interview with the Dillard, never was revealed or came about in discovery.
So it was.
They said it never happened.
So they never put it in.
They never had it.
They never put it in the murder book. So that.
Well, the question is, right? We don't know what they did with it. My attorney we had to have a hearing about it because Larry Dillard, when he was on the stand, he was saying like, yeah, they came and talked to me. But the detectives then first were saying they never came and talked to him. Richards got on the stand, and McCartney got on the stand, saying they never went and talked to the Dillards. So we put Larry Dillard on the stand, and Larry Dillard was saying, yeah, he talked to him, and then they said, could you point him out? He pointed Detective McCartney in, which is how they came and talked to me. And we went up there and talked to my daughter. They pulled my daughter out and talked to my daughter. But now they don't know where these police reports at and these records, and these detectives in their line saying they never talked to him. But the witness was saying like, yeah, they're the ones who talked to me.
So when did you? So what they? I know you and Matt Ronnie went to jail for it, and they gave you guys a day reject, right?
Right.
Okay. Now, when did they have enough? When did they start having enough evidence to say that you was involved in this particular case?
Well, when for the second time the DA made the charging decisions on me is when that statement from Nutty. I learned that they said that Nutty said that I came to him, or we was from what I read, it said somewhere we was at Wendy House apartment, and I made a statement to him like, you don't got to worry about me telling on myself. I use the 30-30. And so from that statement and that so-called eyewitness, that's what they charged me on. So when they charged me, I'm like, man, and then I know they charged Wack. So all it's me, Wack, and Sleep Rock. We all going to court. Sleep Rock is back out there joining attempted murder case with Sleep Rock, Lil Hardball. So. And I guess the reason why they joined it like that, because Lil Hard Dog ID'd Petey Wack on attempted murder, and the gun that was one of the guns used was supposedly some of the ballistics from that gun was found at from that gun was found at this crime. So they saying the same gun was used, so I guess that's why they joined it us together.
But did they ever have? Did they have the murder weapon?
Nah, there was no murder weapon. There was no murder weapon. They just used like a picture or something, I think. You know.
So,
but look.
So everything was right?
Everything was circumstantial. So then, while we didn't, with me, Petey Wack, and we all in 4800, and we going to court about this. You know, Wack telling me you wanna draw it out. You gonna stay in here? I'm like, nah, man. I want to go to court. I want to go to trial because how can they have evidence? They can have no evidence against me. I didn't do this crime. I have nothing to do with this. It's impossible a jury can find me guilty.
Okay.
It's just impossible. Because, I told Wack, huh?
Do you know how many people made statements in that case over there in that section over there?
How many people made statements?
Yeah. Like say for instance, when dudes go to jail, they just make statements in the case, but they don't use the statements. How many people you think that made statements in that case?
There was a lot of people made statements in that. That's how they start, like, coming up with different stuff. You know, like when. I don't know, man. You know, all I know is about how I got railroaded. You know,
I know.
And how the corruption of the stuff.
Did they have
the corruption of the stuff?
Okay, but did they have? This is what I'm asking you. Did they have the statements of the other individuals that made the statements inside the case? But they didn't. You know, the people that they picked up.
Did they have the statements?
Did they have?
This is what was going on. Listen, this is what was going on. They got tape recordings of dudes.
Okay.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And we wasn't, for some reason, I know with my...
You have 60 seconds remaining.
I didn't get the privilege to see a lot of the different... Hear the tape recordings. I just knew about the tape recordings. It's just certain tape recordings I did hear, you know. I didn't get to hear it because Nutty had, I don't know how many tape recordings. And I didn't even get to hear one of them. But they showed used it, you know.
I got no paperwork here.
Benzo got, it's tape recordings with Benzo. You know, it's tape recordings with Big Snoop.
With who?
Big Snoop Dogg.
Oh.
They know that. They know that there was a tape.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
They know that it was a tape recording with Big Snoop. You know, so my thing is though, like, this whole time I've been locked